Everybody say, stress. How many of you have ever felt stress? And if you've never felt stress, you have to let me know what you're doing, okay? It's a normal thing, right?
In Andrea McCabe's fifth grade class, talking about mental health isn't taboo. It's just another day at school.
How do you relieve stress when you feel stress? Ready? Go.
Her students are working together to come up with coping strategies.
What I would do is just start fresh or count to 10.
Ways to calm down.
1, 2, 3, breathe in. And breathe out.
They're learning about bullying, peer pressure, healthy relationships.
Say forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Sometimes holding on to something that's bothering you is so much more stressful than just forgiving and moving on.
And it's all required by state law.
When the law was passed, people were woken up.
Dominic Palma is superintendent of Merrick Union Free School District in New York, the first state to make mental health education mandatory. Elementary school teachers work the curriculum in. In middle school and high school, it's taught in health class.
As students get older, and that's where there's even more of a focus on what mental health is, what mental illness is, how you advocate for yourself, how you advocate for others.
New York is among at least 9 states that require mental health curriculum by law. At least 20 states and the District of Columbia include mental health in their standards, and lawmakers in at least 3 states have proposed legislation to require mental health education. If it's not a priority for those states, what do you say to them?
I guess I would ask them, what is a priority in your schools? Because if working on having kids understand what mental health is isn't your first priority, before all the academics, I just don't understand it. This is not putting something else on the plate. This is the plate of education. That has to be done first.
A foundation more important than ever as more and more kids are struggling. Rates of depression and anxiety are way up, affecting more than 6 million children between 3 and 17 years old. And suicide is now the second leading cause of death among 15 to 19-year-olds.
You're feeling nervous about lunch because you're not sure who you will sit with.
Back in the classroom, students are practicing real-life scenarios. What is mental health?
Mental health is really not more about your physical health, but your mind, what you're thinking about.
10-year-olds Victoria, Yael, Noah, and Daniel already know a lot about stress, and they're not afraid to talk about it. Do you think that mental health is just as important as all your other kind of health, like your physical health?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What's your top tip for defeating stress?
To relax.
To exercise. To go for a walk. To use a stress ball.
Miss McCabe says the lessons are making a difference.
Often it's like the elephant in the room. It's something that they feel like, oh, it's only me. Letting them know that they're not alone, and it is something that unfortunately exists, is so important.
It was interesting, too. All your fifth graders raised their hand that they have stress in their lives.
Yeah. I expected a couple of them to raise their hand. They were all very comfortable with saying, yeah, I'm stressed. I really hate to see that they're stressed, but I'm also really glad to see that they can admit that, and it's okay, and they're not ashamed.
Removing the stigma of mental health and education that will last a lifetime.
Life is quick. Life is quick. And you need to slow down. Say, slow down.
I really want to be in her fifth grade class. Miss McCabe said that she now recognizes the signs herself because she's had teacher training about these mental health issues. And one other point that the superintendent made, nationwide, there just aren't enough mental health specialists in school right now. Like, they don't have enough school psychologists. So this kind of training for the teachers really can make a difference.
I know you and your team literally called every state,
yeah,
right?
Our producer, Bernie LaBelle, literally called every state. So if you want to know how your state is doing, we've put this interactive map up on today.com. You can actually look up your state and see what they're doing or what they're not doing in terms of mental health education.